Hello. How we doing? I think I had everything mixed up. We were supposed to go through the clip now, but Tom, we're live streaming. This is Caviar, and I'm with Jolene, a longtime friend that we known each other for years, and so I want you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here. Let me. Am I too loud on this?
Yeah, you might have to turn your volume down a little bit. You don't want to.
Okay.
You don't want
How is
to. Yeah.
that?
Maybe a little bit more, but not too much.
Okay. What about that?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Well, my name is Jolyn from Jolin's Expressions, and I am so grateful to be here. This is like maybe just a surprise. My life is full of surprises, and I'm welcome this one. Um, so I'm just excited. Coming from this show is going to be talking about where we come from the Bronx of New York, how we met through our family and the Kingdom Hall, and growing up in certain parts of the Bronx, and just how we met up today. And I am an author. I'm a published author. I am a licensed social worker. I went to school in the Bronx. I went to Lehman College, elementaries, of course,
Uh,
and Adelphi in Manhattan, and so I'm just
oh, so it's so funny you went to Adelphi because that was a school I was thinking about going to.
yep,
So
Adelphi, and
I, I,
it,
I didn't. I didn't basically, I didn't do the college thing. I was thinking about going there. A few schools at the time. I was thinking about that school. I was thinking about Farmingdale, as far as in New York. But, I
mhm.
ended up going to Center for Media Arts and Music. So what did you take up while you was in Adelphi?
It was a master's for social work with a concentration in mental health, and so I just wanted to figure out a lot. I wanted to figure out how this world runs psychologically, and my own questions of myself, and just a lot of. And I went to Lehman, and that started the conversation. I majored in sociology and psychology, and it was a great conversation of self discovery, um, and how you see yourself in the world. So I
Wow,
really,
it's so funny. Yeah, you took up the same. My brother, he got his PhD in sociology, so
mhm.
y'all have a few things in common, don't y'all?
Yeah, sociology is a conversation of where you see the world and how you see it, and how the world allows you to live in it, and have that conversation. And now I understand the world is like it has its own function, and where do I fit in? How can I still help, and have some kind of sanity in the middle of it? And so it's a
Yeah,
really good. It's a lot of awareness. So you don't have to respond to every little thing that's going around you, which I had to really understand.
yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
I'd rather sit back and observe than just jump in and to solve the world. And it doesn't have, you don't have to have that kind of energy, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I look at a lot of things in the world, and I guess that's the difference with how we all look at. I guess through life experiences, we all have our own different way of looking at things, because your journey might not have been my journey. We might have been down similar path or experienced, you know, different little things, but at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer. Somebody said this, and they said, you come out your mother, you know, vagina. We two brothers and sisters, or two sisters, or two brothers. You both come out of the same vagina, but at the end, you had the same start, but you have both different what's going on? You had different finishing line. You finish
Yeah.
different. You finish
Yeah,
different.
because I think you enter in with your own thoughts, your personality, and your own energy. Everyone has that, inner experience they have to enter in. And my favorite idea I always think about is how you enter in. Everyone wants to stand on their own. The
Mhm.
idea of my thought is how you enter in, um, and that in is the world, is wherever you are, you're entering in, and how you want to present yourself, your thoughts, energies, whether you you're seen or not, and I think it's
Yeah.
a really good thought to have.
Well, yes, Um, so I know that you said that you wrote some books. But I guess let's just tell the audience how we met. We were both young. We both was, I guess, we was grew up. We was raised as Jehovah Witnesses.
Hmm.
So that was like a journey within itself.
Yeah.
but could you elaborate, like, on what how your childhood and stuff,
um, I was born into the Kingdom Hall, into the hall, into that experience. My mother was married to an unbeliever, but she was still married and going to the Kingdom Hall, and um, just teaching and going to door. And somewhere in her journey, she met your mother. She met your mother, and
Right. In
since
fact, I
then, I
believe
mean,
she
it's
she brought my mother,
yeah,
as I remember it, she brought my mother into becoming a
yeah,
Jehovah's Witness, because I think she
yeah.
was studying with her.
Yeah, so they started studying, and that was back in the early 70s, late 60s, I guess, because I
Yeah,
was born in 67. And so this
yeah,
is from birth on. And to this day, our mothers are friends and friends for years. And your mother have all these
right.
pictures and recordings, and it's just so
Yeah, that was one thing. We our father, I guess he was like, that's why I guess I get the technical thing, because my father, he was the one who bought the cameras and stuff. It was,
wow.
it just that my mother was really using them, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so funny, a lot of people, we like, oh, when we go back and look at them old videos, because a lot of people didn't have that type of equipment back then, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Equipment and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
it was a definitely experience,
Yeah, and it benefited the whole community. It benefited the community that your mother was in contact with, and to this day, it's been appreciating. It's just a blessing to have that experience. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
going to the Kingdom Hall and just meeting the brothers and the elders. I have to think back, and it was a lot of the elders and the brothers and sisters who really helped my mother has, at that time, it was me, my sister, my brother, and no, it was three of us as babies. And so the friends of the Kingdom Hall just ushered. It was a community, and it was a beautiful
yeah,
community in the area of the Bronx. And then I think the early 80s or late 70s, my family moved away, but those
mm,
memories there will never be forgotten. I'm in my 50s, and I whatever
yeah,
I remember, it's part of it, part of me.
yeah. So you remember my grandmother?
I do remember. I do remember your grandmother living in that building on Katona Park East, and she lived on the first floor. And I remember when you enter in, she had like a big shelf, and you enter. It was just, I remember, I can close my eyes and I can feel like I'm in your grandma's apartment, and it was just always happy,
Yeah,
always helping her, always
yeah,
reading and just having that joy. It was never stress, and I really appreciated that joyful experience of in my childhood. And your mother and your brother. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, and I think back in times too. I miss my grandmother. Rest in peace, man. Because I used to stay up there when I got out of high school. I ended up staying up there with her for a while, but then she moved away from that area. But I remember when she moved, I didn't really want her to move because I always liked my growing up years, going up there, spending time. My family used to come. That used to go always be the meet up place. My grandmother's, she cooked and we'd be feasting out. So
Yep.
but
The food. I will never forget the food. The food
oh
was good. Always
yeah,
food. Always
yeah,
food. Always laughter.
always.
Always.
So I know you said you was in sociology. Me personally, I went to school for audio engineering. I guess that's where I get all the technical things from and stuff. But yeah, I went and I also like after I graduated from school, I started working. I was started as an intern at the first radio station was WBAI. It was an FM of Malik Whitney. She and that's when I went to school. I mean, the people in production now, music production, what they had no idea. We had to learn. We was in the analog when it was tape. You had to edit, splice the tape, and join. Like now, you got all this technical. You can edit and mess it up and redo it, hit undo, redo. You know. I don't know who mic is that. Is that my mic? Oh no, something, something. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that. So yeah, so I went to school for that. Then I end up doing some intern work at BLS, and then I was upset of working for free, so I ended up running around in the streets and end up going through my trials with getting incarcerated and stuff. And so that was like a chain of turn of events in my life that I remember, and it leads me to now, me, being in a situation that I'm in now. I got shot. I don't know if that's my mic or if that's your mic.
Okay, let
You
me
getting
see.
feedback somewhere. There's feedback.
I'll lower it on my side.
Okay, yeah, it's probably feedback. Yeah,
Okay.
so we end up I end up getting shot 7 times, and so I had to be end up being paraplegic. I had rods in my spine, and so I had to read a lot of things in my life end up changing. As far as me now, I'm not I'm independent, but I can't do a lot of the things that I'm used to doing. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think I got shot. I think I was in my 40s, in my late 40s, early 40s. Yeah, my mom late 40s, so 2012. So that was a chain of of events, and that that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to reach out to the young ones out here, and that's why the title of a podcast is Life Bullets and Choices, because the choices that you make. I don't know. I'm still hearing this feedback. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's me or
I turned
but
it around. It seems like when I turn my speakers around, it's
oh,
not
so you
around.
hear it on your
Yep.
end.
Yes.
So
Right
yeah,
now.
that's what it is. It's your speaker and you the recording, the
It's
mic.
too close.
Yeah, they're too close.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sit out. So yeah, so basically that's what happened, and you know, um, I never gave up though. You know what I'm saying? Like I continue, but that's why I I named it Life Bullets and Choices, because at the end of the day, I feel like you know a person don't know when it could be a life changer. He's getting shot or shooting somebody. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that, and that's a part of I feel um our community, especially the black community, we have a lot of self-hate, and basically we hate a lot of times who look like us more than a person who don't look like us, and it's a sad situation. And I'm not saying that to be prejudiced or nothing, but it's just a fact. That's something that we got to change, that narrative.
And I,
You
I
know?
agree, because the outcome doesn't have to be how we see it. It does not. If we don't know, or we don't give ourselves options to resolve whatever it is that needs resolving, the outcome's going to continue looking as is. We could do so much better.
Yeah, you're right. We definitely can. But my question to you then is how we change that.
I think with platforms of conversation like we're doing now,
Hmm.
and open it up to have conversations, I think that will, we have lived in the Bronx. We have grew up there. We still have family there, and I think it's important to welcome this platform so we can help bring a new narrative, bring a new energy, bring the old energy too of laughter. I remember laughter. I remember hanging out in Katona Park East as children. Now when we talk about that time, we're talking about underage 10 years old, right? Under age 10 years old, from birth around, I'll say around 8 years old. And so those memories stay with you. And so why not give it to the future generations who are growing up there, and give a testimony to the adults of, yeah, people have succeeded living and being and
Yeah,
born in the Bronx. The Bronx, I don't live at home anymore, but people have, it's weird, people have a negative view on New York. Oh, all about is hip hop. No, it's not only about hip hop. We have so much more going on. And so, but the negativeness, we have to stop having that kind of outcome, showing different kind of ideas that's coming out of the Bronx. Um, just showing that love that is there.
yeah, you right about that. You're right about that. And my thing is like I try to show from my experience that you might not want to have the same type of narrative that I'm going through, because you know and as I this is one of the things I'm going to show, in a lot of my things, like my rebuilding myself, like show a person the struggle of what I go through on a daily basis, getting up, moving around, got to go pay bills. I drive, so driving, and a lot of times my whole thing, my what I try to get to him is to take advantage of your youth, take advantage of you being able to walk, you being able to run. Like there's things that I used to play basketball. I can't. I mean, I could play basketball in a wheelchair, but I can't play basketball like I used to. I was just looking at a video of there's a guy, he has on Facebook. He records, go to different skating rinks, and just looking at that, I was like, wow. Because I remember, like, my mother, she always used to skate. And so I sent her the link, right? And she was like, yeah, it brought back memories of when we used to go roller skate, and we used to go to the skating palace and stuff. And I remember them times, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even think people still skate. That's how far. That's how far I done. And it's them little things that I wish that I can do now that
Right.
I can't do. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's because of the choices that I made that I'm able to accept that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That the choices I made, put me in the situation that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I learned from it, and I'm not mad at the world about it. I just try to inform the youth. You know what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
there's another way. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You
There's
know.
always a two-way part, because now we see the outcome of someone else's actions. So
Yeah.
what are the actions that you're making that's preventing or progressing, right? So the choice is, are you helping or are you damaging? So the choices are, so it's either a good choice or a bad choice, and then look at the outcome. And so if we look at it, we step back and really step back and really put ourselves in that conversation to calm down, and then just observe and then have that dialogue of conversation, a lot of violence would be backed off. It would not happen.
Yeah, cause definitely. I know the violence done got at an
Yeah, when you
all
told me that you
time
were
high.
shot, I wanted to cry. I said, oh my goodness. I got off the phone when you told me. It took me a while. It's like, why, what is going on with the Bronx? What's going on? And it's
Yeah, yeah. I
how
got
can
shot
my
7
question is,
times.
how can the Bronx doesn't go anywhere? People go in and out, in and out. How are people bringing those guns in when the Bronx is there? Someone is bringing those guns in, and when you have access to something that you didn't even supposed to have, you didn't even know how to use it. You didn't even know what to do with it. And so before you use the gun, what are you doing? What are you doing with the gun in the first place? And how are you getting the guns? How the guns are coming into the Bronx? That's always my question, and it's
Well, we know how they get, man.
yeah,
No,
and it has to stop. It really does.
it's
It really has
the
to stop.
thing is, we gotta start loving ourselves. If you don't
Yes,
love yourself, you know how you gonna love somebody else. I
exactly.
mean, that's just how it is, And so, and it's so funny because I thought that I was gonna be, and this is sad to say, but this is how I was feeling at my 20s. I didn't think I would make it past 21. So for me to be 54 now, that's an accomplishment because there's so many of my friends that I've done lost through the years. It's crazy. In fact, one guy, he died in front of me, and I was in a bar and he got shot. And me and him ain't speak for 6 years. And the guy was telling me, help me. I didn't even know it was the guy. It's like this is one of my best friends. Like we knew each other since we were little. And so, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't talk. Some minor stuff that could have been resolved, but I felt, I'm a Pisces, so I feel like if I give my all to you, I want the same in return. So, but even in that, I don't choose nobody to die, or get shot, and I don't wish that on nobody. And he died in front of me, So I've seen my
Mhm.
share of tragedies, you know what I'm saying, through a life. Like I'm 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 trying to right now do a videography of my life, and boy, the things I've been through, shoot.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, I'm still here, so I try to take that blessing and run with it in a positive manner. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
And it's
So
it's sad. It's sad that we have to approach it to show this outcome of the damage, it creates. But then I'm happy that we're here to tell it.
yeah, Yeah, because I'm telling you, I'm able to tell my side of the story. I'm able to show that, you know what I'm saying, like what it is to go through it, you know. You know, this is authentic, you know, this is me trying to, you know, get, you know, show. That's why, you know, I'm trying to finish my videography. I'm not a writer like you, but I'm trying to finish my videography, you know, just on my life, just talking about things I've been through to get me to
Well,
the point where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? So talk a little bit about your book.
oh, well, it's amazing that I wrote the book in my late 40s because I have always been a writer, you know, in school and in my private thoughts. I've always, if I can write on a piece of toilet paper, I am able to write on a toilet paper. But that was just my own way of living and my own creativity. But it wasn't until I took a trip to New Mexico, and there's a mountain called Black Mesa Mountain, and
Mm,
I think that was a life changer. It was so big and wide and powerful. It brought me
mm,
to my spiritual knees. And
mm,
so through that experience, I was prompted, guided, pushed. I was just given this energy to write.
mm,
And the book is Jolin's Written Expressions. And believe me, I did not plan for the book. I did not give it. I didn't sit here and just think about and rethink the titles, what I'm going to say. It just flew. It just came out like a spiritual experience. Like I was taking a shower and it was just, whew. Um, and I started the book in New Mexico and I finished it in San Diego, California, where
mm.
I was living at the time. And it's a
So you've
three
been
book.
all over the globe, huh? You've been from New York, New Mexico, Cali. I've been to Cali. Not to cut you
Yeah,
off, but I've been in Cali. I got family in Cali, Watts and
yeah,
Compton. I've been out
yeah,
there, but I never been. I think my brother lived in San Diego for a little
yeah. I
while.
left
My mom went out there.
California. Yeah, I left New York in 2005, right after
So
graduating
what
from
made you
Adelphi.
leave?
The beaches in San Diego because I visited my brother in 2004, and he lives in close to San Diego, and he took me to so many beaches. I even went to LA. I saw a family there, and the beaches. It was the
Yeah.
beaches.
So
And
you been to Redondo Beach?
no, I don't think. Maybe I don't know. But I went to so many beaches. So when I
Yeah.
went back home to New York, I finished Adelphi. I finished my master's, and I just was like, I was working for the city of New York, and I was a case manager there. And for some reason, I felt unsettled. I felt like unsettled. I was like, "What's up?" And something came up to me like the beaches, and it was so overwhelming. I wanted to see the beaches, and it was time for me to go. And so that was around August 2005. I was on the beach. I moved everything. I moved myself, and I was on the beach that same year in November of 2005. It was time for me to go, and I
Oh,
went. And I was living in San Diego for like 8 years. And so it was the beaches. I was working in the hospital, Mercy Scripps Hospital, for 5 years in the evenings. I was a clinical social worker there, covering the hospital. And believe me, I needed the beaches. So I think I visited
but
the
I'm saying
beaches.
you picked the whole side. You picked the West Coast. You could have went to you could have moved to like well, I'm down here in Myrtle Beach, but
Oh,
you
okay.
got Myrtle Beach. You got Miami. Them is like some of the beaches that's on the East Coast. I mean, in fact, Miami remind me of Cali. I
Wow.
mean,
I
yeah,
think I
Miami
went to
remind me
Miami
of
just for a week. I visited just for a couple of days in Miami. I know haven't spent too much time, but seeing what I saw in San Diego was enough. And then I had got that job at the hospital, and that was a good experience for me to see San Diego how I saw it, plus the beaches. So it was a good time out there.
Oh, well, yeah, I never experienced it. I've been, like I said, I've been to Venice Beach out there. I've been to
I've been to
Redondo.
Venice Beach. Yes, yes. My
Yeah,
cousins live
I
in
like
Venice
the
Beach.
Venice Beach. I like
Yeah,
the. They call it muscle. They call it Muscle Beach.
yeah, yeah.
They work
They have
out
the
down there.
exercise outside
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
beach, and it's
yeah.
nice.
But
Yeah, I went there
that's
a
what had
couple
got me out there, and I seen some beautiful women out there.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Cali. I always said that if I had, some good money, I would have a place in Cali, I would have a place in Miami, and I have a place in New York.
Wow. Yeah.
Them would be my three places that I would have. West Coast, I'd be in the deep South. I like Miami. And then I would be in New York. I gotta have a place in New York.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. City
Yeah.
that never sleep, but that's a lie now because the city sleeps now.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of, when
But
I went to the last time I've been to New York was 2018 or 19.
oh
Changed a lot.
wow, yeah, it definitely has. So you know, I seen the change when I came home. I was like, oh wow, it was so funny to see how so many people, everybody have a cell phone. And they bumping in. Everybody's cool to their phone. They bumping into each other, just over looking and texting on the phone while they walking. That was a new experience. So I get it,
Yeah,
So I have to tip my hat off to myself because to come home like that and not have technology, and have to play catch up with technology. Because I believe when I came home from prison, Facebook was already around. MySpace had just left out. So, I had to play catch up. And, a friend of mine said something that I never really paid any attention, but he like, I gotta commend you because some people when they come from prison and after doing a significant time, they they can't deal with how things have evolved. Because the one thing about being incarcerated is time stopped for you, but time
yeah,
continues with everybody else.
right,
So being that it stopped for you, even though time is continuing going, but time is stopped for you because you're at a standstill until they release you. And once they release you, if you've done a numerous significant amount of years, by the time you come home, things have changed, and some people can't adapt to them changes.
yeah,
You know, and
hmm
that's where a lot of they call it institutionalized come in because they can't really function with society anymore.
right. Yeah.
So
Hopefully, what we're doing now will extend and be shared, because I think it's important, especially with our history and your history. And um, I think we need to break this isolation and just put a positive tip to say, yes, this happened. It didn't have to happen, but yeah, it did. But there still could be a positive outcome.
right, and that's one of my things that I'm trying to get through to people, because I plan on doing a lot of live streams and just talk, just
Yeah,
react. And one thing I know, especially with social media, with the good, there's gonna be bad. You just have to be prepared. Somebody gonna always say something out the character of what it is, but you can't let that stop your growth or you're trying to help whoever you can help. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you got to take on social media. Because I'm a firm believer. Social media could be two ways for you. If you bring positive, usually positive. will come back your way. But if you come in on it with a bunch of negative stuff, that's all you're gonna attract. You're gonna attract negative stuff, and who wants to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't my focus. You know what I'm saying? So maybe one day you can help me with. I write my videography, do my videography, you can turn it into a book for me.
Well, one thing, the creation of a book, especially when you're doing, well, I'm just going to talk about for me.
Mm.
My writing is based on all of the feelings and my ideas and all this stuff. But the Jolin's Vin Expressions, the one is on Amazon now, the book 1 and 2. Believe me, that was just a cathartic experience. I everything of my being came out in those books. Now, for
Mhm.
me to plan a book, that would be something different. I would starting. I would advise you to start your journal. That's really where it
Start a
starts.
journal.
Get a journal and just allow your brain, your body, and soul just to carry it out without you really thinking about it. So get a journal or start typing and just allow it. Because if you want more control, it's not gonna come out as natural as you would like it. So my advice would be just get a journal or get somewhere on your computers. I know you like to type on the computer and
Mhm.
just just
Who
write.
told you that? I ain't say
Yeah,
I like
right.
typing on no computer. Who told you that?
Okay. Okay,
Nah,
okay.
I
Well,
didn't
get a
say
journal.
that.
Get a
I'm
journal.
learning how to type on a computer, but
Okay.
hey, I
Get a
don't like
journal.
typing.
Get this.
Shoot.
Look, get a journal and just start writing. And just if you have a thought, a feeling, don't struggle with it. Don't doubt it. Just allow it to write. Just write it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because I never wrote a script, right?
Yeah.
I had an idea. It was called Dirty South Wars, and I was wanting to make it into an episode. A certain amount of episode. So I was trying to get my cousin because I was trying to get people that rap and stuff. That I'm like, I got this idea, and I want, so nobody wanted to do, or they were taking forever, and so my ex partner on the record store had gave me an idea. He was like, why don't you write it yourself? So I was like, I would doubt myself and stuff, and then I end up writing it, and I made what was it, 10 episodes so far. I made two, so I you know I'm trying to. I never, so I I wrote the first one in script form, but I ended up writing like 8 episodes, I believe. Yeah, 8 episodes. Yeah, and I'm trying to finish the other two. Um, I'm trying to finish the other two, and make it a complete season.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
so I'm looking for actors on that too. You know what I'm saying? Like in fact, this is crazy. I wrote this about. It's been shelved. I've been sitting on it maybe 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years.
If you're thinking about it, it's knocking in your heart and your soul. If you're thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it. It's just like it. I thought the hard part would be writing, but I don't. And I'm not gonna say that I have been looking because I really haven't. But I think the hardest part is finding actors or people
Oh,
that's
okay.
willing to put in time. Because the first thing people says is, "Oh, how much you paying me?" I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get a distribution deal. Hey, I mean, you gotta get you gotta build the cake. To get a piece of the pie. You gotta build
Mm.
the pie in order to get a piece of the pie.
And
And and my thing I try to explain now. You looking for me to give you money right there. How did I give you something that I'm trying to achieve? I'm trying to get. And so my thing is, and I try to explain them. What do you want? You want crumbs or you want a piece of the pie?
mhm.
Because at the end of the day, if you want crumbs, you can get crumbs, but now when the whole pie come, you can't get a piece of that pie now because you settle for crumbs.
Yeah. But
You
that's what
know,
we're doing right now, building. We have to build based on our interest, experience, and collaboration, and wanting to create change. And this is what it looks like.
but you gotta be willing to want to do it. That's the whole
Yep.
narrative. You gotta want to do it. So
Yep.
um, I think I think as episodes go, we'll dig more into different subjects on matters of what's going on in life. Um, I just want to get your narrative on you know how we met, how we I guess how we grew up, and then how we I guess went our separate ways and had our own different journeys, and then how we met back up and how we
Yeah. It was.
trying to
It
prosper
was.
from
It was
there.
just our mothers, our mothers,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
mothers again. Because till this day, they are best friends, and
yeah.
best friends. They keep connection and communication, and
Hmm.
um, I think that because recently they had a Jehovah Witness for the interval. They had a
Oh
what's that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
I
had
was
what was that?
a reunion
A
type thing.
reunion. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, people started sharing information and numbers. And I think that's how I got your number. And we just started talking. And
yeah.
now
I
this is
was
where we
I
at.
wasn't I wasn't able to. I was sleeping in my
Yeah,
mother.
you
She didn't wake me up. She
yeah.
didn't wake me up. She left the information on the table like I was going to look and say, "Oh, I would have went. I would have went." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I did grow up. You know, as a Jehovah Witness. You know, I guess I turned a different journey on it. I still believe, but I have different things, issues that I guess
Yeah.
that I don't know. I
It's
leave it. I
okay.
leave it. I leave it in the higher being to
Yeah.
whatever way if it's meant, it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that. But and it was so funny because I heard my ex and them was there. I don't know if you remember Yvette.
No.
Yvette, you remember Adrian? Oh,
No.
okay. So you
Maybe
might
they
you
came
might
later.
not in fact they were yeah I what Adrian in fact you remember Timmy, right?
Yes, Timothy, of course. When I
Okay,
saw his face, I
Adrian
wanted to cry. I said,
yeah, Adrian is Timmy's cousin. They were
oh,
related. Yeah.
yeah, of
So
course,
they came they
Timothy is his
came
brother.
but I think some of them were still around, but they were little. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I stopped going when I was about 14. I was in the really playing basketball and stuff, and so I was having
Wow.
a lot of tournaments and stuff, and there was
Oh,
issues.
okay.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
how I ended up. That's how. Now I was in high school, and you know how that is. You
Yeah.
focus on your time. You get older, you be like, you don't want to hear that. You
Yeah.
trying to run. You trying to run.
I
But
tried. I tried. When I had my daughter years ago, I tried it. It wasn't the
oh, you got a
same.
daughter?
And
I didn't know
oh,
you
of
had a
course,
daughter.
my daughter's 32.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
and she still lives in the Bronx. So I think
Oh
that's,
wow.
of course, Bronx ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you,
Oh
the
wow. I
Bronx will
didn't even know
always
you had a
stay
daughter.
in my heart, huh?
I didn't even know you had a daughter. See,
Oh, shoot.
I'm learning something right now.
Huh?
I said I'm learning something right now. I didn't know you
Yeah.
had a daughter.
She's 32, and I used to take her to the Kingdom Hall over the times. And you know what? When she was born, I was still living with my mother, and we used to go to the old Yankee Stadium for the assemblies.
Oh wow, that's a long
So
time
I
ago.
tried and study and stuff, but when people approach me and say they can say one thing that's off the tip to me, and I'm done. I'm really done. And so the brother, this is later on, the brother said, he said to me, if you didn't have your daughter, you wouldn't know where you would be in the Kingdom Hall. I was done. I, I,
Wow,
he
that's
didn't.
what he said.
That's what he said, and to this day, I will remember that. And he just
Why
my
did he
my
say
baby
that?
was a baby in my arms, and he said that to me.
But you didn't ask him why he's
I
saying
didn't
that.
have to ask him why. I don't do whys. I don't do too much whys. I don't. I At that time I'm still learning my. It was like I have a low tolerance on certain things. When if you talking to a young lady with a baby, you don't say things like that because you don't know what that young lady would take that and think. And I said no, and that was that for me for that time. And then later on with someone else, I tried, and I read my Bible sometimes, and I still have the books. Believe me, my mother keeps the watch hours and the wakes and books. I still have my therapy. What is that book? I still have it. Look, let me see if what I have now. With oh, hold on, let me see. See, I have I have one, two, three, four,
Oh
five,
wow.
six, seven, eight. I believe me, my mother keeps me updated. And I got more in the other room. And
Oh
so,
wow.
I just think I don't know. I don't know. I think I did my time. I still acknowledge Jehovah, of course.
Mhm.
But people make man-made things, and sometimes it has a limit.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And that's one of the things I have a problem with.
Yeah, the man-made touch. When you
Man,
put
the
too much
man part of
man-made,
it.
it's an issue.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, because like I believe, and I don't want to get too religious and nothing on anybody out here, but I'm a firm believer that religion is run by man, but spirituality is in your heart. Like,
Exactly. And if I feel like I'm good,
religion
I'm
is,
good.
yeah, religion is ran by man because I can't speak for all, but the ones that I definitely came across is religion is like, it's man, like man wants you to follow them, and then if you don't do this, then you shun, you this, you that, and at the end of the day, who gives you that right to do that? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
really believe. I
So,
agree. I
that's
really
where
agree.
I stand. That's where I stand with. That's where I got one of my problems with, and I sometimes I try to pray even about it. I ask, am I wrong to think like this? Because this is how I feel. Because it's
That's your
just
choice.
like screaming.
That's yeah. And one thing about growing up, you become you realize you have an opinion. You realize you have feelings. You realize, and so thoughts and your thoughts, your feelings doesn't have to be second or pushed back to push
Yeah,
someone else's agenda. I don't. That's why I love entering that sociology, liberal arts. It's just opened up a whole new conversation, and I really appreciated that. And I
well,
like it. It's an everyday thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I guess we're running on we like 49 minutes, almost running up on an
Yeah.
hour.
Wow.
I didn't want to take up much of your time, but I think that we'll have some conversations in the weeks and days and months to come, and
Yep.
hopefully that we can have interesting content for people, and hopefully what I would like to do is be able to, because I also can put up like a chat, where people can interact and chat. And so give their um when we're live or whatever, they can call in and stuff, and
That'll be cool.
we could just bring up a topic and just have people interact and give their opinions on a situation. Because the whole thing, why I call it life busting choices, but I also call it community watch town hall, like basically like something like a town hall meeting where people come and we conversate, because communication, I believe, is the key to success.
Yes.
If you can't communicate, then how can you build something? How can you better yourself? How can
Yes.
I mean, if I don't understand what you're feeling, or I can't communicate to try to understand what you're feeling, how can I understand? How can I help? How can I? And it's vice versa. And I think that's the first thing that we as a unit, I'm speaking as far as black people, but also even with white people, Spanish people, communication, if we can't dialogue with each other, how can we understand each other's struggle? We all go through struggles, we all go through pain, we all go through life, we all go through death. We know somebody who died, we know somebody who's struggling with different things, addiction, you know, mental health, as you said earlier, and so we have to start trying to bring these topics to the forefront, and try to at least try to come to some common ground and of
Yes.
understanding. And I say the word understand, but what one of the words I say is overstanding, and I say overstanding because when under means under, over means over. So if I overstand you, that means I understand what you're saying, but I'm overstanding to communicate to a higher level. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I think sometimes a lot of the words that we use, we need to change some of the
Yes.
wording on it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because
Yep.
under. Well, why would I say under? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when we should be over it. We should
Yes.
overstand it. We should
Yes.
understand it and then overstand it, meaning get over that, and let's get to another, a better, communicating and,
Yep.
and learning from each other, and then and moving ahead as a unit, because
I agree.
people. One of the things I say, people, everybody want to be a chief, and nobody want to be an Indian. But the one thing people don't understand is just because you are an Indian today, don't mean you can't be a chief tomorrow.
Exactly.
I feel like you might be a chief in something I don't know, but that I might have to be that Indian
Mm-hmm.
because you know more, but that don't mean that I can't become a chief.
Right.
And so, that's one of the problems that we have, especially in this world. Everybody want to be a chief, but they don't understand that how did the chief become a chief?
Yeah, and I
He,
could I could answer that now.
okay.
Humility. If we have humility, if
Uh,
we want to listen, if we want to be
yeah.
experience the present, humility will help a lot. It will help a lot. And I will have a conversation just based on humility. And I
Uh,
yeah, that's
yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah,
yeah, we could
because
do that. There's a
that's
lot of
something that
topics.
I suffer from.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn it each day.
Yeah.
I'm on this earth.
Humility doesn't mean
Yeah.
to kiss ass. It doesn't mean, oh, should I say that? But it
Nah, I
doesn't
mean
mean
this
that
is
either.
being
It
real.
it does not mean that. It means speaking the truth, your truth, and being genuine about it. You don't have to
Right.
bow down to anybody, but you have to have a stand. But if you don't
Yeah.
have, if you have low self esteem, if you don't have that fullness for yourself, or even understanding that you are as worth as someone else, You're not gonna have that stamina to say it. You're not.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
so we're gonna have a I'm telling you, we're gonna have good conversations, and I hope we are here for the community. I hope the community will come in and hear it, because
Oh,
it
no
needs
doubt.
to be heard. Believe me, I am ready. I am ready to share it because people need to hear it, and my body, my mind, my soul wants to share it because we need it.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely do. So closing and closing.
Yes.
Do you wanna if people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you? Like you have your social media handles, websites,
Oh
anything?
yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe you want to, give that to the
oh, let me find the name of it.
yeah.
um,
If maybe in the later time we can put it up on the screen, and that way people that if they can't catch it now, we can probably put it in
oh,
the description. Yeah,
that'll be cool.
I mean, you could just say it now, and then
Oh,
later time, when we get a little bit more,
okay,
and we could put it on the description or put it in the links, and then that way people, But I think maybe
okay.
at least what we'll do is be able to do that.
Yeah.
That way
Okay,
people
so
can reach
it's
out.
at it's at JJ Lynn 5110 _ 20. I mean Joe. Let me write it here because I just
Well,
messed it up.
well, well.
Hold on. I just messed it up. It was JJ Lynn 5110 _ Joe. There you go. And I'm gonna write it here. I'm gonna put it here. So you
Okay.
see it's on the screen now?
Nah. Oh yeah. I
There you
see it right
go. So that's
there.
my Twitter
Yeah.
at. So I'm
Okay.
gonna leave it there. So every time we come up, it'll be
Yeah.
this.
All right. And mine, I didn't write it down, but it's as you see my name up there, they call me Caviar the Chocolate Bar because I'm a DJ and I'm a producer, and I give them chocolate butter beats. So
Yes, sir.
my email is caviar KAVIAR the number 4 play at gmail.com. And I have my website up there is www dot the number 4 FOURPLAYENT.com. And like I said, I'll be putting it up there, at the probably the next stream that we have. And it was good talking with you, and
Yes.
since this is our first episode, it only could get better.
Yes,
It
it will
can't get
be.
worse.
Yeah.
It
But I
can't
do
get worse. It can
appreciate.
only get better. It can only get better, you know.
Yep, I
But
just appreciate our mothers bringing us together, and that's a
yeah,
community love. That's love from mommy, and your mom, and I just
yeah,
love that. I just love that we're still connected all these years.
yeah, because we we all I guess we all went our separate ways for as far as us, it couldn't have really been us because we were kids. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just I just remember
yeah,
I remembered you, I remembered your brothers, I remember you know your baby sister, you know
yeah,
and so I remember your older sister Lydia.
yeah.
I had always had a crush on Lydia. I liked Lydia. I always liked Lydia, but she was older than me, so I knew she was.
Yeah,
But yeah, I had
that's
my
so
crush.
funny.
I had a crush on her. I had a crush on Donna. Yeah, them was my two that I had a crush on. Yeah.
Wow, this is so funny. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
Donna was chocolate. I liked her chocolate, so she's yeah.
Um,
But
I'm
yeah,
I'm I am so just gonna enjoy this whole experience. It's
yeah,
just gonna be beautiful. It's beautiful already. Oh my god.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Like I said, this is the whole. the whole thing is that I'm trying to give out is I'm trying to give people content where it's authentic. I'm never been a type that I'm a fake person. I think sometimes that that push people away from me. But I've learned to deal with it. Like I can't be a person that's fake. Like I'm not gonna tell you like what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, and I
Yeah,
want you to do the same for me.
yeah,
I'd rather you be real with me than to be sugarcoat and being fake with me. And I'm even like that with music when I'm producing and stuff. Like a lot of dudes like some people, they be wanting like a millions of people in the studio with them, and I'm not like that. I don't want a bunch of people in the studio with me.
right,
If
yeah,
you ain't vibing, if you're not vibing with me and bringing something to the table to help better the project that we doing, I don't want you around. And
yeah,
people used to, like I might be one way, we'd be cool and joking, but when I'm in that studio environment, like I switch that whole narrative,
yeah.
because I take it serious. Like I mean, I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
honestly, man, before we go, I've been around music since my father. My mother used to sing. My father used to compose and write music, and I used to love that environment of the studio set. I remember I was little. I think we was in RCA studio, and I was sitting on my father's lap, and I was looking at all these knobs and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
Wow.
I just love that where some people get intimidated by it. It was just something, it was a passion for me. So for me to be able to, like I said, I've been up all morning and night because I was trying to make sure that I had everything linked up to it for us to even be able to do this first episode.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm probably a little tired. I'm not going to lie to you, but I wanted to make sure that we get the message out, and I'm able to bring content hopefully to people that they enjoy, and I think because I basically like having a co-host. I wanted to have a female co-host on a podcast or a live
Yeah.
stream that would basically come is I know we always ain't gonna agree. We could agree to disagree though. You know what I'm saying? Like because your truth might not be my truth, and vice versa. My truth might not be your truth, but that don't mean that we can't bring something for somebody to help somebody. That's my
Yes.
whole thing, to help somebody from my experience of my truth. You know, and I'm pretty much sure that's what you want to bring to the table. And I think one of the episodes we definitely need to interview my brother.
Yeah.
since y'all been y'all both he got his PhD in sociology, and you have your degree in sociology. And I'm just a person that I do music, and I've been on the
You worked with
other stuff.
WBLS. You worked with
Yeah, I
WBLS.
did work
I
at
grew up
BLS.
listening
Yeah,
to WBLS. So this is just
yeah.
this
Yeah, yeah. I just like
I'm
it. Like
telling you,
I see
I'm
you.
like,
It's so funny because like when you were telling me earlier about, you told your mother that I did some recording and stuff with Betty Shabazz.
listen,
That's a moment I cherish. But I guess I look at things different. Like it was like when I to be able to say that I did that now as I look at it, like it's really was to me nothing but when you say something about it, it's like what you right
I'm
because
like, what? I'm
I
like,
mean
what?
yeah I mean I'm not saying take nothing from her because
Woo.
yeah, but to have that experience, and I was cool with one of the daughters, one of his their daughters
Oh
was
wow.
working there with me
Oh,
too. Yeah, not the one that her grandson burnt her up.
right.
Not that one. It was the
Yeah.
other one. It
Yeah.
was the other sister. I forget they got like Muslim.
Yeah. So we'll
But
find
she
out.
was,
But
yeah,
just
she was cool. She was cool. I was cool with her, you know, because
wow.
one thing, what happened was I had started how to just give a little brief of what happened.
But wait, because some okay.
Mm,
Hold on for a moment. Hold on. One minute. Okay, I'm coming right back. I'm sorry. I had to respond to something. Okay.
uh,
Sorry.
yeah. So basically, I man, I lost my train of thought. I basically had started at BLS when I got out of the school for Center for Media Arts, but I was started as an intern, and I did the first show. It was the first show that BLS ever did remote. They did remote from the Palladium, and we had to
Yep.
record the remote because they were number one at the time, and Ken Spiderweb was working there, and
Wow.
so
See?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that he was working there, and I remember we did that show. I think MC Shan had performed. Joyce Sims, she performed, and so we had to record them. It was a live remote, and it was the first ever time that this was being done. And so I experienced that. Like, so me and he ended up becoming my boss, and was so crazy. But we recorded that show, and then, they didn't pay. Like I said, I was doing intern work, and I never went back.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
how that happened. The first time
Wow.
I was there, I did the intern, and then because I was like, I gotta get money. And as I look back now, that was one of my biggest mistakes. And I'm admitted, because what happened, the guy who what we had started as interns together, he ended up becoming my boss. And my father
Wow.
always said, if you would have stuck with it, you probably would have been his boss. Because what
Wow.
happened, how he became my boss, I had started back as an intern when I came out of prison. And my father was like, just hold on, you do it, you're going to get paid. And so what happened was, the guy who was training me as an intern, he was the production coordinator of everybody in the production. And so he in fact, he used to do, if you probably heard his voice, he did Montel. He was the voice on Montel Williams show. He was the voice for the Apollo, like Showtime at the Apollo. If you hear that voice at the end,
Yeah.
and he was the voice for The Price is Right. He should
Wow.
just. So what happened was, BLS was going through a financial thing, and they would cut people pays back. And he was so he had, because he was doing production for BLS because he was under a contract, but he had to be making a substantial good amount of money, and then he was training people. Like, he had his side job, he was doing outside work. Like I said, he was doing all them voiceovers for them shows, and then he was training people how to do voiceovers. His name was Bill Quinn, and I don't know what happened, but he was a good guy. And he ended up, when they wanted to cut his pay now, he like, oh no.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing that. He like, yo, he like, I'm putting my resignation in. 2 weeks later, he was
Wow.
gone. So then the guy that was ended up being my boss, that we started interning with, he became my boss. So I was the production assistant, and he was. So what I was doing, I was doing Chris Welch. He was a DJ. He was a good. I lost contact with him. I would love to get back in touch, but I was doing his show. I was like, when he be on air, I was like his engineer. And one thing I liked about him, he didn't look down because I was an intern. He didn't try, because a lot of times people, when you do intern work, they try you, oh, go get coffee, and they don't want you to do. But he wasn't that type of person. He was willing to help me, and I always respected that about him. But then that's how I ended. Once I started doing as the production assistant, That's how I ended up doing Betty Sabas
Wow.
show.
When you told me that, I had to share it with my family. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
and I was still in
yeah.
the Bronx when she passed away, you know, and in
Yeah,
Jacoby,
that was
and
sad because I a little
it
bit
was
right after I
terrible.
did that yeah, a little bit to tell you the truth, a little bit right after that happened.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
happened. And
I remember.
I found out that her grandson that did that, he ended up getting killed in Mexico, like
Yeah, I
about a
heard
few
that.
years ago. Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard that. But
So
did she? I
he
think
was
she passed
human.
away in Jacoby, right?
I don't know what hospital she passed away,
I
but
think
I
it was
remember.
Jacoby.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. That was
I
crazy.
was crying. I was crying. I was
Yeah,
crying.
because she was a nice lady. I mean, to be able to record her show,
Wow.
because like I said, she had a talk show on
Yeah.
LIB.
One of
And
these days, we just have to sit and talk about that
yeah,
experience.
yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad to share that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. We was good. We got together and hopefully we'll have a weekly show. Bring it on every Sunday.
Yes.
People, I mean, that's a good time. Downtime. People want to hopefully log in
Yeah.
the I guess the more we come out and promote it and stuff, I think
Okay.
the episodes will go better. But
Yeah.
Jolene, it was good talking with you, and I hope to see you soon. We definitely will bring more content to the world.
Yes. We will, and I look forward to it.
Okay, so for everybody, we're going out of live stream world. Then this is Caviar and Chocolate Bar and Jolyn, with Life Bullets and Choices, podcast, um, talk, community watch, town hall, whatever you want to call it.
Family
All right,
reunion.
yeah, family reunion. All right, take it easy.
Bye.
All right,
Peace. Peace. Peace.
peace,
Peace.
peace.